Linda here from Gunnut Lane Jewellery. Today we're going to be making some connector links. I've got a few examples here to show you. So this is one. It's got a herringbone stitch on top. We're not making that one today. I just wanted to give you a look at what's possible. So that's one. This is number two. Put those down there, you might be able to see them a bit better. Number three, they're all basically the same link, just doing a few different things with them. This one's a bit different. This one I've used some chip beads in, just showing that you can use chip beads in different ways. And another one a bit smaller. And then the last one, this one. So today we're actually going to be making this one, which is very similar to this one that you just adding chip beads instead of your centre bead. So we're making that one and this one. Okay, so what you're going to need for that is we're using 22 gauge and let me see here. This one's made with 20 gauge, so you're going to need 20 gauge for that one, and this one's made with 22 and 24 gauge. Okay, so we'll start off with the 20 gauge. So I'm just going to, have I got the right, no, that's 22. Excuse me. Okay, 20 gauge, where's my end there? And I'm just going to pull off I will just stop for a second so I can grab my tape measure. Okay, I'm back. I've got my tape measure. As most of you know, I don't usually measure. I just eyeball everything, so I forgot my tape measure. Get out of the way here. Say about 18 inches, which is 46 centimetres. 18, yeah, 18 inches probably enough. Okay, so I'm just cutting that. Get my tape measure out of the way. All right, just going to straighten that a little bit. And then I've got, I'm using 8mm beads on these two. The examples I showed you had an 8mm and a 6mm, so you can use any size bead you like, really. So I'm just going to use the 8mm. Okay, so I'm just going to thread that onto the wire, bring it into the center, just like that, and then I'm going to turn one wire up and one wire down, like that. So it should be looking like that. I'm going to turn this over because it's easy for me to wind this way. And I'm just going to, it's kind of like we're starting off making a rose, and I did show you a rose in a previous video. So it's similar to that. So we're just bringing this wire around. I'm going to take it all the way around the bead, like that. So that's what it should be looking like. And then we're just going to follow on with this wire, bring it around until we meet up with the other one. And then here we're just going to bring one in underneath the other. So we're just folding it in underneath like that. Bringing the wire around a bit more. Following on with that wire. Bring that wire around a bit more. Follow on with that one. See how it's starting to form the rose pattern? You can make this as big as you like or as small as you like. You can stop there if you want to, totally up to you. That way you would cut less wire. If you wanted to make it even bigger, obviously you would cut more wire. I'm just deciding how big I want mine. Okay, that's probably big enough there for me. Okay, so we've got one wire at the top. I'm trying to get this one in so it's pretty much level with the other one. Okay, from here, oh, this is hard without being able to get it up in my face. I'm trying to find a gap. You don't want to go to the outer edge. You want to come in as close as you can to the center without actually going on the first wire we wrapped around the bead. So if you can see there, I'm going above that wire. I'm just going to grab my pliers to help me. I'll do it from the back, it's easier. So I'm just winding that around and pull that tight. And then I'm going to come in a second time. Pulling that up tight again. It's not in quite tight enough. Okay, then I want to do the same thing on the other end. Trying to find a little hole, which is very hard to see when it's not up close to your face. No, okay, I'm just going to stop for a second and grab my awl. Okay, I'm back and I've got my beading awl. So I'm just going to gently make a little gap between those wires. Just wiggling to get in there. No, I want to get in underneath the next one. There we go. So I've got a little hole there, as you can see, just there. Okay, now to get the wire through it. There we go. And hopefully be able to fit through it again. This is much easier, guys, when you can put it up near your face. And as I said many times, I work under a magnifying light so I can see things like this better, and trying to do it on camera is extremely hard. Okay, that's two. Just this doesn't matter. You don't have to be tidy with this. It's an organic freeform looking object. Okay, so now we're going to grab our round nose pliers. I could have wrapped around a bit more. I've still got plenty of wire left there, so, you know, at least one more time anyway. I'm just going to, oh, wrong way, from the back, sorry. I'm just going to do a wrap loop. Actually, I want that down a bit closer. Sorry. There we go. So just a couple of times around. And cutting off that one. Tapping down that end. So you can't feel it. Doing the same thing from the other side. Bring that down a bit closer. Tapping that down. And you can just straighten up your ends if you want to. Now, you could by all means leave that as it is. That's a lovely looking link, just like that. But I want it to look more organic, so I'm just going to come in, excuse me, with my bent nose pliers, and I'm just going to bend some wires. And you just do it until you like the look of it, just to make it look a little bit more organic. Straightening it, just the ones on the outside if you like. And there we go. That'll do me for now. So you can't really see the detail in that until it's oxidized. But they look so much nicer when they're oxidized. All right, so we'll move on to number 2, which is this one here. For that, I'm using 22 gauge. I'll grab the right one this time. Okay, again, just, I would, okay, do the 18 inches, again, 46 centimeters. And we're going to start it off the same way. find the hole. There it is. So bringing the bead down to the centre, or close enough to it, doesn't have to be exact. Okay, bending one wire over that way, one wire over the other way. It's much easier with the 22 gauge too. Okay, just doing the same thing. Okay, what I'll do is stop the video, and because you've already seen this once, and stop when I get to the next stage. So I'll see you soon. Okay, I'm back. So I finished wrapping our bead, and as I said, it's exactly the same as what we did in the first one. So now I've got a piece of 24 gauge wire, and I've cut this one. It's about 16 inches, which is about 46 centimeters. It doesn't have to be exact, just, you know, pull off a piece of reasonable length. So now we're going to come up through a gap, if you can find a gap in your piece. And I'm just going to wire wrap that on. I can hold on to this tail. So pull it in nice and tight. Wrap around a couple of times. There we go. Now just grab, this is how I do it anyway, just grab that tail, wrap it over one time towards the back, and cut it off. And push it down. Okay, so I've got that wrapped. I'm just going to come around the neck of this once, around to the other side. Now here you can do whatever you like. You know, you can just go in and out and wire wrap around whatever you want to do all the way around. I'm just going to do some loops, and these don't have to be perfect loops, because we're going to do something at the end that it doesn't matter whether they were perfect or not. So just getting those in the best that you can. Mine are turning out a lot bigger than I wanted them to, but without getting them up close to my face, I can't see what I'm doing very well. Okay, that doesn't matter. I'm going to try and hold on to that loop and wrap around that neck and bring it up, and just continue on making some loops. Just turning the wire any which way you like. As I said, you don't have to be fussy with it. Don't worry, some loops are bigger than the other and some are similar. That one's a small one. I'm fine with that. Do one more there at the end. Bring the wire around. Now with the rest of your wire, we're just going to come up. What we want to do is try and tie down these loops. So I'm coming up through the middle of that loop there that I made over here. So I'm finding a gap in the wire, coming up through that. And you can just come up wherever you like. All right, I've come up through that loop. I wasn't intending on that, but it doesn't matter. As I said, it's all free form, so just do whatever you like. That's the beauty of freeform in anything. There's never any mistakes, no right or wrong. I'm just going to find another place to come up through. And if you can't find a place, you can always use your awl and just get in there and make a little hole. So I've made a gap there. Just remembering to pull your wire in nice and tight. So I've locked that loop down, come up somewhere else. I need to make another hole. There we go. Now I want to tie this loop down, so I'm going to come up wherever I can in there. And just making sure you come through the loop. Oh, goodness. I had it and then pulled it out. Okay, that loop's going to be tied down now. And now I just want to find something you can wrap around your... I haven't got enough room there to do that. So I'm going to come up somewhere else through my work. Now I need to make another hole, another gap here. Come up through that loop so I can tie that one down. Find somewhere else to come up. And if you can't, just remember, use your awl. Now I don't have as many loops on that side here, so I'm going to make another loop here. And pull that wire through a bit tighter. And then come back up through and tie that loop down. Finding another space. Trying to get through that loop as well if I can. Yep, I got through it. Okay, I think I've got all my loops tied down now. So with the rest of your wire here, you can just do whatever you like. Just come up wherever you can. Don't be afraid to use your pliers whenever you need to. Just go wherever you like. So I'm just threading through wherever I see a gap. All this extra wire is just going to look really nice once it's patinaed. Sorry, I'm trying to get this on camera and see it myself. This is really hard. Hopefully I wasn't too much off camera then. Okay, just find a gap. And if you can't, use your awl. I can see the gap there. I just have to get my wire to go through it. There we go. Okay, that's probably enough. So now you just go back through that same gap if you can fit through it, or find another gap if you can't, to wind your wire off. Sorry if you can hear Dave talking on his phone in the background. I forgot to tell him I was filming. Alright, just want to fit this through here one more time. Come on, go through. See if I can straighten it. Come on. Do you talk to your work when you're doing it? I do. There we go. He's sticking out the back. Thank goodness for that. Come on. There we go. I've broke a little bit off, which doesn't matter because I'm about to cut it now anyway. And poke that down wherever you can. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. Now comes the fun part. I like to use my flat nose pliers. So I'm just going to look at this. I'm just going to straighten it up a little bit more first. Now I want to come in. I want to start bending these wires. That one to lay down a bit flatter. And you can't do anything wrong with this, so don't panic or anything like that. It's just wire. Okay, I'm going to come along that edge and give that edge a pinch. So you're just going to play with it like that. You do this as much or as little as you like. I find it hard once I start to stop. Just until you find an interesting shape. Straighten your loops up top and bottom. They get out of whack. I like that shape there. Once that's patinaed, that's going to be stunning. And so just some ideas what you can do with these pieces. Obviously you could put them in a chain, so you would have, you know, chain coming this on a necklace, chain coming this way, chain coming that way. Put on as many or as little, as few as you want. That's totally up to you. If you wanted to use it in a bracelet, this would make a very fine bracelet, you know, like fine, feminine, very light feminine one. But you can make it bigger and make it into like an actual what's the word I'm looking for? Statement piece. That's the word I'm looking for. Statement. But you could also just use, like, thread a chain through there. If that's too small, put a jump ring on it, add the chain. You could make a lovely little pendant with that. Same like this one here. Just I don't have that many drop stones left, but that's a carnelian, so another carnelian on the end of it. I mean, any of these would make, again, put this one into a chain and into a necklace. Use it as, if you've got a big focal, use it as a connector piece to your chain with the focal on the bottom, if you understand what I mean. It's hard to try and explain it. This one here would look great with this is a baroque pearl. Put a baroque pearl on the bottom of it, a chain on it. Put it into a chain as, you know, just coming along. You know, you could put 3 or 4 together if you wanted to, and then some chain. Just, just use your imagination. Okay, well, that's our tutorial for this week. I really hope you all enjoy it. As I said, these just come up stunningly once they're patinaed. The difference in them is just amazing. Shows up all the wire, the depth and everything like that that's there. So big difference from copper to patinaed. All right, everybody, have a good one, and I'll catch you all next week in another video. I've got another link for you. Everybody seems to be loving the links, so until you get sick of them, I'll keep making them, I guess. All right, everyone, have a good one, and stay safe.